Buenas tardes. My name is Tony Garcia, and I'll be your MC today. On behalf of the Center for Hospitality and Culinary Arts, I'd like to welcome you to our first George Brown College YouTube Live beverage competition, Cava Everywhere, generously supported by Wines from Spain. What began with a field of 12 student competitors using 12 different cavas has been narrowed down to 6 finalists. Our faculty mentors for each of the 2 teams, School of Hospitality and Tourism Management professors Adrian Caravello and Doris McCullum Bradley, each mentored a team of 6 students over the last month to prepare them for today's competition. Of course, we threw a little wrench in there. We switched mentors for the final 2 teams of 3, so let's see which of them emerges with bragging rights today. Let's jump right into it. Here are Doris and Adrian to introduce their teams.
Thank you, Tony. Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Doris. How are you? So excited.
I'm so excited for tonight. I'd like to introduce the final 3 students that I mentored, starting with Flavia Lungu, Inez Rosa, and Jamie Bradford. Over to you, Adrian.
Fantastic students, yes. On Team Adrian, we have Rachel Cohen, Patrick Brayton, and Jermaine Dionisho.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, professors. Now, let's meet our esteemed panel of judges. We have a lineup of experts with us today. First off, the Sparkling Winos. Mike and Jeff are social media sensations for all things bubbly. These certified wine specialists have built a tremendous following by demystifying sparkling wine while making learning approachable and fun. In fact, Jeff was once a CHCA student, just like many of you watching today, and someone we proudly call successful alumnus. Follow them at Sparkling Winos to join them on their exciting journey. Next, we have Pilar Randolph. Born in Jerez, the birthplace of sherry, this native of Spain grew up in Niagara in a family of wine professionals. Her career has been dedicated to all areas in the wine trade, including as an instructor from food and wine pairing here at George Brown College. She is now the director of food, wine, and gastronomy from Spain, leading activities across Canada. Next, meet Sherry Moak Edwards. As a former vice president and head buyer for the LCBO, you've all probably seen Sherry's Picks in LCBO stores, newsletters, and magazines over the years. She now runs Sherry's Picks Consulting and continues making her great recommendations at sherryspicks.ca, spelled S-H-A-R-I, if you want to follow. Our final judge is Debbie Shing, a certified WSET instructor with 2 decades of experience in wine marketing and sales. She recently established her own wine agency, Cuvée Group, spelled Q-U-V-E. Debbie is the Diversity Committee lead for Drinks Ontario and is also co-founder of the nonprofit organization Vinequity, which aims to ensure that people who identify as Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ, or are living with a disability that work in all aspects of the wine industry are given equitable treatment and opportunities to access, grow, and thrive as visible leaders in the Canadian wine industry. Such a great cause. Now, on to today's competition format. The students will compete in 3 rounds of Cava-related activities, and the judges will then submit their scorecards, and the winners will be announced. First, second, and third will receive $1,500, $1,000, and $500 cash, respectively, but everyone leaves a winner. You will also have an opportunity to judge today from your home for the Viewer's Choice Award. Stay tuned after round 3 for that opportunity and instructions. While the students set up their stations between rounds, we'll also have some sparkling edutainment. Okay, vamos. Let's start round 1. Competitors, you were asked to create a cocktail using your cava. You have 2 minutes each. Jamie, you're up first. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Tony. So we'll start off with my cocktail. It's called the Espada. So you start off with your mixing glass, some ice. You're gonna dump it in there. You're gonna start with a teaspoon of sugar. You can also use a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Then a 1/4 ounce of lemon juice, organic. Okay, and then we're gonna go with 1.5 ounces of red vermouth. Preferably you're gonna use a Spanish vermouth, but for this one I use Martini and Rosso. And then we're just going to give that a quick stir to make sure everything's nice and dissolved. Alrighty, that's there. So I created this cocktail to sort of inspire a little bit from my past. So I used to work at medieval times as a knight, and we called everything by its Spanish name. So this drink being called the espada gives me a little bit of nostalgia. So we're going to strain that base off into our glass, and then we're going to top with my Cava, which is Perez Balta Pink. It's a rosé brut Cava. It's organic, and it's made by two women who are now heading up a family business. So you want to top it off with about 4 ounces. And once you get that nice orange color to it, we're going to finish it off with a couple of things. Number one, we want our lemon twist. I took the liberty of preparing these ahead of time, but you can absolutely make those as needed. Then you're going to twist it over the drink, releasing all of the oils, a little bit of rub around the edge. And then the last piece, we're going to take some organic mint, place it in our palm, give it a good smack to open it up, and just finish off with that in there as well. And there you have it, my drink, the Espada. Salud.
Salud. Thank you very much, Jamie. That looked delightful. Flavia, you're up next. 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Flavia, and I'm making this cocktail with my favorite Cava. This is from the Barresh Balta in the Penedes. It is in the Catalonia region, and the winemakers are two powerful women, Elena and Marta. So I really want to stick true to their traditions and winemaking and be as organic. They're a biodynamic winery. They really rely on organic fertilizers. They even let sheep roam through the vineyards. So I'm going to stick true to them and make them proud. So I'm going to start by grabbing my shaker that's already been pre-filled with ice. I have 1 ounce of the Dillon's 100% Ontario rye. So I'm going to pop that in. This is a local, beautiful London-style gin. I really wanted to support our Canadian market and incorporate a little bit of Canada into this cocktail. And now I have the limoncello. It is an Italian liqueur made with fresh lemon peels from Sicily. It's just going to add a beautiful citrus flavor. It complements so well the already citrus notes that the Cava presents. And then I have from freshly squeezed Spanish clementines, so they can be found all over the markets right now, about an ounce and a half of clementine juice. So I'm going to pop everything in here, and then I'm just going to give it a good shake. It got excited. And pop it into our cocktail glass, and top it off with the star, the Brut Cava. This beautiful Cava has so much crisp apple, pear notes, and those beautiful brioche toasty and notes from the time it's spent in the bottle with yeast. To finish it off, I just have some beautiful organic rose petals. It's just gonna give a pop to this beautiful cocktail. This cocktail is called Summers in Barcelona, and I wanna be able to transport everyone who drinks it into a Barcelona trip, a vacation, and a getaway, because we really need it right now. Have a great day, and as they say in Spain, hasta luego, cheers.
Thank you, Flavia. Jermaine, you're up next. 2 minutes with your cocktail.
Hi there. Today I'll be showing you a special cocktail, Jazmín Real, which is the Spanish translation of Jasmine Royal. It is a mixture of Western and Eastern culture in the drink. So let's start. First, we'll be needing our cocktail shaker, some ice, make sure that it is cold, and then we'll be having 1 ounce of vodka. The vodka will give the drink a kick because our Cava is on the lower side of alcohol at 11.5%. And we also don't want something to overpower the Cava. That's why I'm choosing a neutral spirit. Up next is 1.5 ounce of jasmine tea with honey. The unique aroma of the jasmine tea will give a soothing and relaxing aspect to the drink. And then we'll have fresh watermelon juice, which gives a refreshing taste to our drink, as well as a pinkish orange color. And then we will have 1 ounce of lychee juice that will give a tropical boost to our drink. Some people call this lychee, but it's the same, tomato, tomato, right? And so we'll be shaking out, but like one important thing for shaking and showmanship, you have to bust a move. And then we will be pouring this to our coupe glass here. And then for the star of the show, top up with 2 ounces of the Cava balance drink. Some of the ingredients are predominantly sweet, so the Cava sweet dryness, tartness, a hint of citrus, and as well as the sparkle to the drink. And then to finish it off, we'll have our lovely garnish. So this drink is suitable for hotel bars as well as fine dining restaurants, but you can also drink this with at the beach or during barbecues. And this is also good for weddings and birthday parties. So this is a very, very versatile drink. Enjoy.
Thank you, Jermaine. Rachel, you're up next. 2 minutes. Thank you, Jermaine.
Rachel, you're actually muted. I'm so sorry.
Sorry about that, everyone. So we're going to start over. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Rachel Cohen. I'm really excited to show you my cocktail. This is the Rosa Maria. So we're going to start off. This is a fun, vibrant, and delicious cocktail. Super easy to make to ultimately showcase the beautiful cava that I have here, the Remarks Fruit Reserva 18, coming from San Sadurní de Noia in the Catalonia region in Spain. The Rosa Maria is going to actually Campari, Lillet, rosemary infused syrup, and then topped with the Remarks Fruit cava. The inspiration behind this cava is that I just love a bitter cocktail. My favorite spirit is Campari. I'm on a patio sipping on a Negroni, but the Rosa Maria offers the less bitter, a little bit more fruity and super bubbly twist to add to your roster of cocktails. This really is the perfect aperitivo to add to any spring menu, restaurant, or a cocktail bar. Not only is it incredibly refreshing, but the combination of the Campari, the fresh herbs, and the creamy texture of the cava coming from the lees aging will open up your appetite, making this just destined for food. Just while I was pouring in, I did an ounce of each, so equal parts Campari, Lillet. You have a ½ ounce of the rosemary syrup that I've infused, the blood orange juice. We're going to go ahead and shake. After you've given it a good shake, we're going to go ahead and double strain. You want to double strain because relieving the pulp from the freshly squeezed blood oranges. Look at that color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then after that, we're going to finish off with your cava. And again, the Remarks Fruit cava is a biodynamic and organic. This is coming from 2 brothers who won the winery with their family. And last but not least, the blood orange dehydrated just on the top for a beautiful garnish and a sprig of rosemary. And there you have it. Cheers, guys. This is the Rosa Maria.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Patrick, you're up next. 2 minutes.
Hey, everybody. Patrick, and I'm here to share my cocktail with you that I created. So for my base, I chose Fino Sherry, which is sort of a traditional Spanish fortified wine. So we're going to go 2 ounces of that. 2 ounces of that. Now, Fino Sherry has sort of been out of fashion as of late, but I think it's making a huge comeback, and you can start seeing it on all sorts of cocktail lists all over the world. And then keeping it traditionally Spanish, I also wanted to cater to an international market. So I went with shiso. So shiso is a Japanese herb. So it's very unique. It tastes like nothing I've ever had before. It's sort of like mint, basil, cilantro, so very unique. So you can give it a slap, kind of treat it like mint, pop her in there, and then muddle those two together. And then your next ingredient is going to be yuzu. So another Japanese ingredient. It's a citrus with hints of lime, lemon, and grapefruit. So just an ounce of that. And then the last thing, I made a lemon-infused simple syrup. So just an ounce of that as well. And then give it a shake. Some ice in there, give it a shake. And now I have my glass chilling here, so let's just get the ice out. And double strain that as well, just because of all the bits of shiso in there. Now the name I chose for my cocktail was Mama Conchi. So the cava that was chosen for me is called Villa Conchi, and it's nicknamed after the mother of the creator, and her nickname is Conchi, and Mama is mother in Japanese, so I brought them together and came up with Mama Conchi. And then just to tie it all together, top it off with a little bit of the cava there, about 3 or 4 ounces, I would say. And then last thing, garnish it with a slice of lemon and maybe just shiso leaf there as well. And that's it.
Thank you, Patrick. Ines, our final competitor in round 1, 2 minutes, you're up.
Hi everyone. So we're gonna use our main character, Marquez de Moja. And let's start with the base with raspberries, because I choose raspberries because of the fruitiness and the sweetness of it. And then lemon balm. Lemon balm because of the zesty, lemonish, and minty freshness that may enhance our cava. So we're gonna model that. And then a cup of grape juice. And then 1 ounce of hibiscus tea, because of the tanginess that we want to bring in this cocktail. And then we're gonna strain this. And because I made sure all my fruits were really ripe, so I don't have to add additional sugars. And of course, natural herbs from my garden, which is very important. And then our main character, the label is facing towards you. And then we're gonna pour this little baby. And also cava and fruit, it just goes really well together. And then the hibiscus flower as a garnish, and lemon balm, and also rosemary for the aromatic properties that it has. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ines. Fantastic. Well, that ends round 1. Thank you very much for the competitors for your excellent work on your cava cocktails. Now, while you clean up your stations and get ready for round 2, we want to show our viewers at home a short video of just how we got here.
Hola chicos, my name's Alan.
Samara Ruiz. Ines Rosasan. My name is Sydney.
Rajita. My name is Patrick Briggsing.
Jamie Bradford.
Jermaine Tradisha.
Flavia. Rachel Cohen.
Hello everyone, nice to see you again.
traditional method sparkling wine that the second fermentation happens right in the bottle.
Cava is called Marqués de Moja style brut. It's an assemblage of the main grapes of Cava, Charelo, Macabeo, and Parellada. The color is a pale yellow with some green tones.
This is Pares Balta Pink. It's Cava and it's rosé.
This Cava contains no sulfur at any time during the winemaking process.
Cava that was selected for me is Via Conchi, so it's a brut selection from the Penedès region.
Green Marks Brut Reserva 18, coming from San Sadurni de Noia in the northeast of the Penedès. This is located about 50 kilometers from Barcelona in the region of Catalonia in the Cava DO appellation.
The wine I'm holding is a brut, a dry sparkling wine with very low sugar content. It is also organic and biodynamic, meaning that they don't use any chemical fertilizers when they're cultivating the grapes, and biodynamic means that they rely on an astrological calendar when planting the grapes.
The taste has a fruity, like pears and pomelo citric tones, and has some earthy, toasty flavors as well. It is fairly dry, acidic, and it has some bitterness at the end.
It's fruity, it's kind of smoky, and it has this beautiful creaminess to it. It's so refreshing.
I can taste green apple, and there are elements of nutty and bread flavors. It is a well-balanced wine with medium to long finish.
A little bit of green apple, maybe some light brioche in there, a lemon zest. I got a little bit of white flour as well.
The nose gives off this beautiful, flowery, fruity aroma. You get some green apple and citrus, but palate's even more beautiful. It's almost creamy. It's toasty. There's definitely an indication of aging, but it has this really nice, pleasant, round mouthfeel going on.
The present notes of green apple and pear with a beautiful balance of the toasty, biscuity, and honey notes that come from the east that was in this bottle once is a beautiful blend and a beautiful wine that can be paired in any time at any occasion.
Suitable for casual outdoor events such as picnics that involve family and friends.
Perfect for celebrations such as weddings and birthdays.
I wanted to pair this with something, what they say, what grows together goes together. So I want to say, some octopus, maybe some white fish, a little bit of veg, some asparagus.
Pair with meats, vegetables, seafood.
And as they say in Spain, gracias and hasta luego. Cheers.
Wow, I don't think I'm the only one getting thirsty here. Well, that was fantastic, and we wanted to share with everyone online how much work went into this over the last month. So thank you, competitors, and congratulations for being here. Great job on round one. And okay, vamos, let's start round two. Competitors, for this round, you were asked to think of your favorite childhood meal. We will now ask you to pair that meal with your designated cava. While you gather your thoughts, we will show our audience a short video from the Heart of Cava production.
The traditional method of in-bottle fermentation is the same as that seen in champagne, but since 1986, when Spain joined the EU, any reference to that region has been prohibited. The term méthode champenoise was replaced with méthode traditionnelle, or traditional method. However, the industry in Spain, being much younger than its older French brother, had less traditional restraints and quickly found ways to make the process much more efficient without losing any quality.
My name is Gloria Collel. I'm a wine manager working for Segura Viudas. It's one of the most important Cava producers. The three most important white grapes are Macabeo, Xarel·lo, and Parellada. Macabeo brings, I would say, the fruity, medium acidity, and all the apples and all the pears. Xarel·lo brings the personality. I would say it brings the male touch, yeah, the strength, the body, the alcohol, the acidity too. And Parellada is for me which brings the female touch, the fragrance, the flowers, the white flowers. Depending on the final product you want to make, you use more or less of the different grape varieties, the indigenous ones.
Grapes are still carefully controlled and berries hand-picked by the best producers at the optimum time to retain that all-important acidity needed to keep the finished fizz refreshing to drink. The grapes are then pressed gently to avoid any bitter components. Whistle-clean stainless steel tanks are used for the first fermentation, often with the winery's own specially selected yeast. The base still wines are blended together in December after the harvest. As the climate in Spain is more consistent, blends rarely need to contain wine for more than 1 year. Fast, efficient machines bottle the still-based wine with a dose of sugar and yeast mix, and robots move the bottles down into the cool, dark cellars. Here, the yeast consumes the additional sugar and releases the all-important carbon dioxide to create the bubbles. After a minimum of 9 months aging, the yeast is gently shaken down the neck of the bottle, automatically by gyro pallets, which incidentally were invented in Spain, and disgorged to give a wonderfully clean, refreshing fizz.
Okay, now I wanted to give this opportunity to the judges to say something. I want to kind of see how they thought round one went with the competitors, while the competitors still kind of gather the thoughts on how they're going to pair their favorite childhood meal with the Cava they've been provided. Actually, I'm going to start with you, Pilar, actually, more of a story side. You're a Spaniard. Cava plays a significant role to Spaniards once a year where we all have to drink it. Tell us about that tradition.
You're so right, Tony, and we have so much fun on that night. Always New Year's Eve. You need a bottle of Cava and 12 grapes, and you eat 1 grape at each gong of midnight. And so by the end of it, your mouth is full of grapes, and you've got a glass of Cava, and you're kissing everybody, and it gets everywhere, and we have so much fun with it. But it's totally something that has to be done because it's good luck. It's good luck to eat them all that. And they even have them now in little cans, and they have 12 little grapes in a can, and they're seedless and they're skinless. So it's really easy just to get them down. And here in Canada, we have all of our friends on the grapes too. And I go around if they're not with us and drop off little bunches of grapes so everybody can do it at midnight.
Tradition 101. Thank you, Pilar, for that. Now let me check in with the sparkling winos. How are you gentlemen doing, Mike and Jeff? What did you think about the students in round one?
Well, Tony, I am buying what everybody's selling, and I don't want a receipt. I'm not taking anything back because I thought they did a fantastic job. I was really, really impressed with the sort of diversity of the cocktails, the different sort of focuses of each one, the way that they spoke to the Cavas was really impressive. So they're making our job difficult, but this is really, really fun and really exciting.
My only reservation is I wish I had a taste of all the wonderful cocktails that were prepared by all the students. They were quite wonderful.
Alas, the virtual world, but we'll be back one day and we'll have to do it all over again. Great, let me check in now then. What do we go to? Debbie. Debbie, what did you think about those cocktails?
Hi, everyone. First of all, great job to all 6 of you. I definitely echo Mike and Jeff, what they were saying. I need samples right now in my room. I loved all of the demonstrations and great energy by everyone. Some of you guys, I love what you had to say with regard to the facts about each of the wines, and also weaving in some of your own, personal stories and, different cultural flavors to kind of mix in with your cocktails. I thought that these were really original recipes, and I definitely would like to be enjoying myself out on the patio sometime soon with any of those drinks.
That's great. Sherry, we're going to go over to you. I think it can be said that over your career, you may have purchased more Cava than maybe even everybody on planet Earth in your role at the LCBO. I would love to hear some feedback from you for the competition so far.
Thank you. Well, certainly it's great to be here, and congratulations to all the students. It's very clear that a lot of effort and time has gone into producing their masterpieces, I will say. And I can't agree more with some of the other colleagues that we have here, some of the other judges. I'm getting very, very thirsty. I have a glass of water, but it's really not doing it for me. So would love to try some of these concoctions that are being made. I think everybody's really well done. I agree with some of the other judges with the components and the quality and the various ingredients that are going in. There's a lot of originality in there. And a lot of them are very, very different from each other, even though they're all very original. So no, I think the team's doing a great job, and it's going to be very difficult to, certainly going through the first round, I had a really hard time deciding, which ones were better. So I've got my work cut out for me, that's for sure.
Thank you, judges. Now, competitors, it's back to you. It's time for us to learn about your favorite childhood meal and how you would pair your Cava. We've shaken up the order this time a little bit. Rachel, you're up first this time. You have 2 minutes.
So, remembering this dish is so vivid for me and a classic staple for my family. Let me tell you about my grandmother's Moroccan fish dish. Growing up, this is one of my favorite dishes that my grandmother would cook. Whenever we would travel to Israel, we'd get so excited to spend time with her, watching her cook, smelling the exotic spices and the intense flavors filling up our home. I associate this Moroccan dish with memories of my childhood, trips to Israel, and connections to my roots. This past weekend, my mother actually cooked the dish, and between bites, my mother shared how much it meant to her as well. Sharing these stories together and connecting through food is what makes this dish so special. This dish is made with fresh salmon, a blend of sweet and spicy paprika, roasted red peppers, garlic, and cilantro. The best part about this dish is the rich, hearty, and spicy sauce that just begs to be sopped up with some crusty fresh bread. Not only is this dish extremely comforting, but it also is packed with flavor. The paprika is the most important essential ingredients. And when traveling to Israel, my mom would actually bring back these paprika coming from the open-air markets in the old city of Akko, just off the Mediterranean coast. This dish is really close to my heart. It's carried from mother to daughter for more than 4 generations within our family. Cooking, following family traditions just makes me feel so nostalgic, especially around the holidays and family gatherings. I can't wait to pass on this dish as well to my own, the way my mother did and her mother before that. The Remarts Brew Cava would pair incredibly well. The intense aromas and the taste of the aging of the Remarts Brew Cava won't overcome the dish. The high acidity and the crisp bubbles will help to clean the fattiness of the fish and the heat of the spice. I really think that the herbaceousness as well will do well. It's clean, it's crisp, it's fruity, and balance will be key, and it's going to be a great pairing. So cheers. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Rachel. Next, Patrick, you're up with your pairing of your favorite childhood dish.
All right, hey everybody, back again. You know what? This was probably one of the most difficult submissions for me. When I was a kid, I was probably the pickiest meat eater you could ever imagine. I ate hot dogs, chicken fingers, and fish sticks basically. When I was in junior kindergarten, I even told my teacher that I was allergic to crust, so I didn't have to eat the crust during snack time. But moving forward, maybe when I was around 16 years old, I started working in a restaurant and they had this blackened haddock taco dish on the menu. So it's a blackened haddock taco dish with chipotle, some coriander and some lime. And I think that really pairs well with the Cava because, the Cava's light to medium body, which really pairs with the meatiness of the haddock. And then, with the slight herbaceousness of the Cava, really works well with the lime, and then the spiciness of the chipotle really gets working with the sweetness that you find in the Cava as well through the green apple or the citrus. And to be honest with you, if you give me fried fish sticks and a glass of Cava, I wouldn't complain either. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Ines, you're up next. 2 minutes.
Hi guys, so I would say aglio e olio, which is a pasta. So when I was younger, I used to be a very picky eater as well because I'm from Argentina. I'm Korean Argentina. So from Korean Argentina to Mexico, it was really hard for me to adapt new foods, especially the international market of Asian foods and like Mexican foods as well. So my mom, she learned this dish from her Italian friend, which was aglio e olio, which is pasta, chili peppers, minced garlic, and olive oil. And I think will go really well with my Cava because not only my Cava is of dry, but also acidic levels, which actually might complement really well with the spicy pasta that we have. And also the good retention of bubbles that we have in the mouth with the pasta, which is in the heavy side. It just helps to refresh our meal, especially balancing something heavy and the Cava as well. And also it's just the extra thing is like, since my Cava, Marqués de Moja, since it's the brut style, it just doesn't have a lot of sugar, which the fruits can may have a tint of tanginess and some sweetness that helps just embrace the both balance of flavors. So yeah.
Thank you, Ines. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to go to Jamie.
Hello, everyone. Thanks again. And my favorite dish is one that I'm sure lots of people who are watching for me would know. It's called Nana's casserole. And, lots of people seem to think that their grandmother made something kind of like it, but it's this great tomato, macaroni, ground beef kind of baked casserole. And it was, no matter what occasion, whenever we were over at my grandparents' house, there was, turkey or whatever the meal was, but there was always Nana's casserole, no matter what. And, like Patrick said, I was definitely a picky eater as a kid. Having something like that I knew I liked, that I could always have was really something to be excited about. And that meal's kind of taken a whole life of its own now. It's become an heirloom unto itself. So multiple generations still cook it. And it really signified like coming together, being at, grandma and grandpa's house. There was always an occasion when we were there. So, to pair it with a Cava is very simple. A sparkling wine is something to celebrate. It's something for celebrations. And whenever I was having Nana's casserole as a kid, we were celebrating something. Now, I had my sparkling cider, but, if it wasn't for perhaps some preconceived notions that my family has about pink sparkling wine, they would probably be drinking something just like it. So the sort of creaminess that I've mentioned before that comes from that bottle aging really, really cuts through a lot of the sort of umami flavors that are in Nana's casserole. So I feel like that, along with some of the fruitier elements and those darker red fruit flavors you're getting from the garnacha that's in it, you're definitely going to have a great pairing that's going to take away that flavor. Every flavor's got a friend to play with in both of them, and you're ready for the next bite and the next sip. I think it's really would pair very well with it.
Thank you, Jamie. Flavia, you're up.
Hello, everyone again. So my favorite childhood dish and a little bit about where I'm from is I grew up in the south of Romania with my grandparents, very close to the sea, and my grandfather would go out and fish and bring home fresh seafood from the market and fresh ingredients. And just like this beautiful Baresh Balta Brut wine, it was organic. And I actually did recreate the dish for you guys. It is my favorite childhood dish. It is a grilled octopus with fresh peppers. Those beautiful contrasts of the lemon and the acidity of the wine would just cut right through this dish. So I think it's so perfect. The beautiful memories I have is that it was just an open door in my house. Everybody would come in, neighbors, family, friends, and the kids were never separated. We were right there soaking in all the joy and love and stories that the elders would tell. And I was always trying to set up, because I was a very active kid. So I would set up the table for my grandma. My mother would be in there prepping. So just like this beautiful winery that's being run by two amazing, powerful winemakers, as well as the grandmother and daughter. That's how I felt growing up. 3 strong women in the kitchen, around the dining room, telling stories, just living it. It was a beautiful wine to pair for me as well, just because the Perialata grape variety offers a lot of floral notes, so it's got a very delicate flavor, and you don't want something too obviously overpowering or acidic, because there's already some lemon in there, so it's a lemon sauce. And then the beautiful fruit forward notes and those yeasty qualities, they're just pair so well with this beautiful grilled octopus. So thank you guys so much. Hasta luego.
Thank you, Flavia. Jermaine, our 6th competitor, final competitor for this round. You're up.
Hello again. So the dish that I'll be talking about today is very dear to me, because I'll be dedicating this to my grandmother, who passed away just 3 weeks ago because of COVID and kidney complications. This is a dish that she prepares whenever all her grandchildren are coming to visit. So this brings back fond memories for me, because I'll be sharing this with all my cousins and siblings. And our visit is not complete without this dish. Even now, when I see this dish, it brings me back to those times many years ago. So this dish comes from the Philippines, and the name of the dish is beef caldereta. As the name suggests, it is a hearty beef stew, which is slowly braised to a perfect tenderness in a mildly spiced tomato and liver pate sauce. It's full of pan-fried potatoes and carrots, as well as sauteed onions and bell peppers. It is the perfect match for a hot cup of steaming rice. I'm already getting hungry just thinking about it. So as for the Huya and the Venus Cava, I believe that it is a great match because of the weight of the dish, which is like medium to heavy weight. It matches with the body of the Cava, which is medium to full body. And then this dish is very rich, so that like the acidity of the Cava will cut through the richness of the dish. It also has the same acidic intensity as the Cava, because the tomato sauce was already toned down by the liver pate. And then the spice will be dissipated by the bubbles, by the acidity and the fruitiness that mimics the sweetness of the wine. So I chose pairing this dish and wine because it complements each other, and it represents togetherness, which is the symbol of my grandmother, who brings our family together. So wherever she is right now, I know that she's watching me, and I hope I'm making her proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Jermaine. Certainly making your grandmother proud. Thank you, everyone, for round 2. Quickly, I wanted to turn back to the judges, actually, and I wanted to kind of see how we're going on, what you thought of round 2, and if you have any Cava stories to tell us. I'm sure some of you, or most of you, or all of you have been there before. Sherry, I'll start with you. Oh, I don't see Sherry.
I'm there.
Yes,
Can you
I do.
see me now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, I'm technically inept here, but just trying to come off on mute. No, I'm a huge fan of Fizz. Everybody who knows me knows I love sparkling wine, and I think Cava is one of those wonderful products from a great country that is very affordable, very approachable, and has a lot of complexity. And Cava is one of those wines that you really can't go wrong with, no matter what you're serving it with. So it's certainly a personal favorite of mine. And every time I think of Cava, I think about all the wonderful trips that I was very, very lucky enough to take as a buyer, and going into the area and visiting the cellars and going underground and seeing those huge machines with all these products on it. It's just a fascinating experience and just a great memory for me.
That's fantastic. How about Mike and Jeff? Any Cava stories there on your side?
Yes, of course. To echo Sherry's sentiments, yes, sparkling wine, Cava, especially, is a sommelier's secret weapon, as we always say. It pairs with pretty much anything under the sun. So we're big fans of pairing Cava with our dinner. And the first round, the competitors made us thirsty, and now they just made us hungry. All of those things sounded amazing. We certainly do have some sort of fun Cava stories. We had a chance to visit way back in 2013, I think.
Yeah.
And like many regions, what grows together goes together. So in Spain, the coastal sort of region of Penedès, they pair their Cava with a lot of seafood. I remember we went to a Cava bar and they didn't speak much English there, and our Spanish is really rusty. So we just sort of asked them to bring out whatever they saw fit. And I just remember receiving a giant paper bag full of shrimp with all the eyeballs and fixins and everything. And as two people who are not the most fond of that sort of thing, it was an experience, but I mean, it was great. It paired exceptionally well with the wine, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very sort of authentically Cava.
And an adventure to go through all the shrimp and enjoy with the Cava at the end.
Yeah.
So worthwhile pairing.
Yeah.
Pilar, I mean, you were born in Jerez, so you're proud of the Southern sherry now. But Cava, you got something to say there for sure. It's delicious. We can't avoid that.
Absolutely. Some of my favorite moments are shared with Cava, and it can be as simple as and as delicious as a bag of potato chips. You open up a bag of potato chips with a glass of Cava, and honestly, it is just fantastic. Really, really enjoy that. And wherever we went in Spain, when we went through Cava country, they would always give you usually something salty, and the potato chips for us is fantastic here, because all you do is pop it open and grab your glass of Cava, and away you go.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pilar. Debbie, on your side, some closing thoughts.
Sure. I guess, I mean, in one sentence, I've never met a Cava I didn't like. But first of all, great job to all six of you. I loved all of your family stories, as well as really touching on your different cultures, which actually I find has a lot of ties going back to Spanish culture as well. Some of you coming from countries that may have touched some Spanish history, and vice versa. Spain has also been affected by, say, North African culture. So great through lines there. I have way too many Cava stories to count, but I'll tell you the most traumatic, but also the most memorable one, which was when I went to Spain for the very first time ever in 2018. It was for, just for my personal vacation. I, checked into my Airbnb the night before, had a nice dinner with my Airbnb roommates. Next morning, set out for a lovely, breakfast to, get coffee, whatever, and then swung my backpack on my back and walked down the street, la, la, la. Next thing I know, I turned my head around because I'm like, oh, my bag feels a little bit lighter. And of course, I have been pickpocketed in Barcelona on my very first day in Spain, which is not to say anything of the culture, except that is something that is bound to happen to a tourist at some point in their lives. So needless to say, a lot of Cava was consumed during my trip there. And for that, it will always be a beverage that I shall treasure.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. So everyone, we've got a quick little interlude of a couple of minutes. We have a special guest, KB, who may have brought his guitar to the party today. So KB, I'm going to pass this over to you and see if you can kind of usher us into round 3 with a little music of your own. While KB is getting set up, I do want to remind competitors that we are live on YouTube, and I just got sent a screenshot that shows a lot of your friends and family cheering you on. So it's kind of exciting to kind of see that on the side. You're doing them proud, that's for sure. Hi, KB, I see you in a cellar. Muchas gracias. Ole. Ole, KB. Thank you very much for the musical interlude.
Thank you.
I am being
Great
told that
competition, by the way, everybody.
we've got, it sounds like we've got some people supporting some of you from Portugal. We've got some people cheering you on from Israel as well. So this is getting exciting as we go into our third and final round now. So, okay, vamos, let's start round 3. Now, competitors, here is your final task. We've invited renowned Barcelona chef Ramon Simaro to create 6 tapas. And we're going to ask you to go to your breakout rooms now and receive your instructions from Doris and Adrian, your mentors. So students, go ahead. You'll see that link to the breakout rooms. And you can go and get your instructions on what you're going to do with those recipes. Now, for the rest of you live, I just wanted to remind you that our live poll will be coming up soon. So you're going to be able to click on the comment section on the poll. The poll will show live for a little while, and you'll be able to pick your favorite presenter thus far, your favorite competitor. So let's wait till they're done round 3, but the poll will be up very soon. In the meantime, it is my pleasure to introduce Chef Ramon Simaro from Barcelona. So it's only right that he was the selected chef to be on today. And just so you know, the students are being asked in the breakout rooms to pair their cava with 3 of Chef Ramon's tapas. They haven't seen these. They're getting presented to them right now as we speak. Now, for the audience at home as well, Chef Ramon Simaro, he's up Canada's Spanish cuisine game when he joined us a few years ago from Barcelona to open Madrina, a Spanish tapas and restaurant in Toronto's historic distillery district. So Chef Ramon will demonstrate one of his simple dishes. So now you'll be able to make this at home as well. Chef Ramon, over to you.
Fantastic. Hi, Tony. Hi, everybody. Thank you to George Brown for inviting me today. I'm very excited about this activity. As Tony mentioned, I prepared 6 recipes for the contestants. Those 6 recipes are tapas. As you all know, tapas are small portions of food meant to be shared and packed with flavor. So I'm gonna explain the 6 of them, and then I will make one. Very good. So the first one is gazpacho. For sure, you have heard about gazpacho. Gazpacho is a chilled soup, traditionally from the south of Spain, made with raw vegetables and seasoned with olive oil and cherry vinegar. It's what we call a liquid salad. Tomatoes, cucumbers, red pepper, garlic, and onion. A salad, but liquid. Very healthy and refreshing for the hot temperatures of the south of Spain. The second tapa is called tortilla de patatas, which is a Spanish potato omelette. It's just an omelette made with egg, but with also potatoes that have to be cooked first, and caramelized onions. So it's a very rich tapa, very strong flavor with a sweetness touch of the onions. The trick of this recipe is not to overcook the egg, because then it will become very dry. So it needs to be still juicy inside. And the tapa number 3 is called gambas al ajillo, or garlic prawns or shrimp. Very simple. It goes really well with cava. Just seafood, shrimps cooked in garlic oil, chili, and garnished with parsley. Then we have the tapa number 4, which is ensaladilla rusa, or Russian salad. Russian salad. Well, it's not Russian, it's Spanish, of course. But the original recipe was a Russian salad made with potatoes, pickles, etc., more Eastern European. But with the time, it evolved into a more Mediterranean dish with olives, roasted red peppers, and tuna. That's the big difference. And this tapa will have the sweetness of the red peppers roasted, and the briny flavor of the olives. Then we're going to Tampa number 4, which is clams in salsa verde. Fresh clams cooked in a salsa verde sauce. This sauce is made with garlic, chili, white wine, and a little bit of flour to make it more thick, creamy. Very flavorful, also goes really well with cava. And the last one is the one that I'm going to be showing you. It's patatas bravas, the most popular of the tapas. Every single bar in Spain has their own version of the patatas bravas. I'm going to be showing you the one from my hometown, from Barcelona, which is done with 2 different sauces. One is the aioli, garlic mayonnaise, and then it's an oil, spicy and smoked paprika oil. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the potatoes. These Yukon Gold potatoes I have here already peeled, and I'm going to cut them small so they cook pretty quick. These potatoes, I'm going to cook them twice. First of all, I will confit them in a medium heat oil until nice and soft. Then I will remove it, and at the very end, I will deep fry them so we get this nice and crispy texture outside. Okay. So as you can see, I hope you can see that well, nice and small. And here at the back, I have an oil, nice and warm already. I'm just gonna put the potatoes in here so they cook. It's gonna take maybe 6-7 minutes, no longer than that, because they are already, because the oil is already warm and they are quite small. While they cook, I'm gonna prepare the 2 sauces. The first one I'm gonna do is the oil, the spicy paprika oil. I have here an airtight glass jar, and I'm gonna put here herbs, and then I'm gonna pour the oil inside to get all the flavor. And the spicy and smoked paprika. I'm gonna put this here first. With a lot of thyme, Mediterranean herbs, right? Rosemary. And bay leaves. That are the most common herbs in my region. It can also be done with other herbs, Mediterranean herbs, like oregano, or it will also go well with lavender. Garlic, just gonna crush it, crush garlic, and dried chilies. You can use also fresh chilies if you don't have dried chilies. This would be perfect if you do it one day in advance. This is going to be more flavorful. Okay. So I have all the ingredients here, and now I'm going to fill this bottle up with warm oil. Warm, not hot. Okay. Because if it's too hot, then we're going to fry all the ingredients and we're not going to get all the flavors, and it's going to be bitter instead. Okay, so warm oil, olive oil. I always use olive oil for everything. Okay. I'm going to close it and mix it a little bit so we get all the paprika everywhere. And I'm just going to let it rest for a little bit. Fantastic. Sauce number 2. Let me check the potatoes. Good. Sauce number 2 is the aioli, or garlic mayonnaise. Ingredients that I'm going to use: 2 egg yolks, garlic, a little bit of lemon juice, and olive oil. Okay, this is an emulsion. So first of all, I'll show you. Next, one yolk here. Now the egg yolk. I'm gonna cut the garlic clove a little bit so it's easier to blend. Few drops of lemon juice, nice flavor, and pinch of salt. So now I'm gonna have to blend this until nice and smooth, until all the ingredients are completely blended. And then I'm gonna slowly add the oil. This is an emulsion, so I need to be very cautious and very slowly add the oil into the mix and make sure it doesn't split, okay? So let's get this started. Okay, so now it's nice and smooth, and I can start with the oil. And there we go. This is the texture that we are looking for. And our two sauces are ready. I'm gonna check the potatoes and see if they are already soft. That's perfect. Potatoes are already soft, but they don't have color. I'll show it to you right now. Okay, really good. Now I'm gonna turn the heat to the maximum so we can fry the potatoes and get them nice and crispy. Now you can see the potatoes nice and yellow, and later we want to have them very crispy and golden brown outside. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on the side and wait for the oil to be nice and hot. Okay. In the meantime, I will chop some parsley for decorating the dish. That should be enough. And with a sharp knife, I will chop this really small. It's important to do it at the very end because we want this to be not dry and with a lot of flavor and color. If we chop the parsley with too much time, it will become dry and flavorless. Right? So there we are. I have almost everything ready for the patatas bravas. As you can see, this is a very simple recipe that you can do at home and feel like you are in Barcelona. Fantastic with a glass of cava, of course. So now my oil is hot enough, and I'm gonna slowly put the potatoes back into it to get them nice and crispy. This is just a matter of seconds. Okay, in 15, 20 seconds, they will be golden crispy. And we're gonna start getting ready to plate. Small plate. Hope you can see properly. Maybe I'll turn this off. Yeah, I think so. And my potatoes are getting there. I can feel it with the spoon. Crispiness. Perfecto. Here at Madrina, we don't do this recipe. That's very simple. We do our own version, which is we cut the potatoes into very thin layers. We stack them and then we cook them in the oven. And once they are soft, we put some weight on them to press, and then we cut them into stripes and fry them. So they are very crispy outside as well, and you have all the layers of the potatoes. And then we finish with a wasabi aioli to give an oriental touch, and a brava sauce, which is another sauce for the bravas that can be done, which is a spicy tomato sauce. So there we go. Potatoes ready, crispy. I like to cut the potatoes when I do this recipe, like roughly. So some of the bits are bigger, some of them are smaller. So I find different textures when I eat them. Right? That's nice thing. And now, very easy to plate. I'm just gonna put them in a small bowl. There we are. And finish them with the two sauces that we made. Aioli. So first of all, a little bit of salt, salt flakes. Aioli. And the spicy paprika oil. Generous. There we are. And finish with chopped parsley. To add some freshness.
Muchas gracias, Chef Ramon.
Patatas bravas
everybody.
from Barcelona. I hope you liked it.
I think the ones we'll make at home might not be that fancy, but nonetheless, we're all really hungry now. Thank you very much, Chef, for participating. Thank you for providing the students with the recipes. We're going to ask the students to come back to the main room now, please, so that we can move on to round 3, the final round. For those at home, actually, we want to welcome our viewers from Buenos Aires. We've got some viewers in Buenos Aires commenting, and we've got others from Germany. Germany, welcome to Toronto, to our students' competition here. So this is quite exciting. We're gonna have, is Patrick back yet? Let's see if Patrick, you are back. Not yet. Sparkling Winos, while we wait for Patrick to join us, who'll be leading our, give us some information on what you, oh, actually, no, here's Patrick. Hello, Patrick, welcome. You're first up. Everybody will be coming back one by one. Please tell us about your cava paired with the surprise tapas you were just presented with.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 3 tapas that I chose were the tortilla de patatas, the patatas bravas, and the gambas a hilo, so a garlic prawns. The first thing that we're going to touch on is the tortilla made from potatoes and eggs, and it's super creamy. Now, the cava that was actually selected for me contains 10% Chardonnay. So it's going to give this Cava a sort of more fuller body. And that's why I'm sort of feeling comfortable pairing this Cava with a super creamy dish. I don't think it's going to overwhelm it at all. The second one that we're going on is the patatas bravas. So this is a fried potato with spicy paprika oil and garlic aioli. And this is probably the biggest staple in Spanish tapas. You're gonna find it in every single tapas restaurant you go to. So with the spicy paprika oil, I think the Cava is gonna provide a refreshing break to the spiciness. The acidity is not gonna be too overpowerful. So the balance is gonna be right there. It's gonna be perfect, I think. And then the last thing that I would pair with is the garlic prawns. So this is like a dish that I could definitely see myself on a beach in Spain eating, maybe with the tops and tails on, who knows. So this one is going to be super garlicky with a kick of butter, which is probably going to pair beautifully with the Cava and its aromatic body. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Now we're going to bring back Jamie. And Jamie is going to tell us about the 3 tapas selected. Jamie is joining us shortly. In the meantime, anyone on the judges panel want to give us a comment on anything? Judges, not all at the same time. What are we thinking, Pilar?
You know, just a story about a time where I was visiting one of the wineries with some guests, and we were out in the vineyard, and it's all it was actually at Pairings Balta, which is one of the wines. It's 2 of the wines that we have today. And it was out in the middle of nowhere in the fields because it's all biodynamic, and we saw the sheep going through and the bees and everything else. It was just beautiful. And one of our guests was smelling the wine, and we had the whole range out there. And all of a sudden, he's smelling it, and he's having a difficulty because he's thinking, well, I shouldn't be tasting and smelling exactly what I'm tasting and smelling. And one of the big indicators for him was rosemary. And he's like, rosemary should not be in this wine. And I told him to turn around, and there was this huge bush of rosemary right behind him. And the wind was coming through, the breeze was coming through, and giving him those aromas. So
maybe that's why I'm always wrong. Maybe I should look behind me because I'm always wrong in my assessments. Jamie, you're here with us. Thank you for joining us. You're up next to describe your pairing with Chef Ramon's 3 tapas that you selected.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me. So we'll start things off, I think, with a nice starter. Usually you start off with a soup. So I'm going to start with the gazpacho. As far as it pairing with the Pairings Balta Pink, one of the things that really sets this one apart from a lot of other cavas, it's a rosé cava. It uses the Garnacha grape in about 38% concentration to give that rosé feel, but it also brings a nice sort of red fruit feel to it that I feel pairs with pretty much anything tomato-based. You have that nice savoriness that goes well with that sort of earthy fruitiness, but also being brut, it's not too sweet, so it doesn't overpower. So the gazpacho really is going to be something, if you're out on a deck, you have a nice chilled gazpacho and a beautiful glass of Pairings Balta, that's going to really emphasize all the best characteristics of both without stepping on each other's toes. To follow that, we all like some nice shrimp. So the gamas al ajillo, the garlic shrimp, I think would be another great pairing with this. There's a little bit of spice to the preparation there with the chili threads and the cayenne pepper. Doesn't seem like it would be too overwhelming, which is great because this gives it a nice balance. If you had a very spicy dish, you would sort of miss the cava and miss the sort of delicate aspect of it. But this wine really stands up to just a mild amount of spice, I find. So I think it would be very good in that sense. And then finally, to finish it off, we're going to go with the ensaladilla rusa. Sorry, my Spanish is a little rusty. But that reminds me a lot of actually a more North American dish of a Cobb salad. Has a lot of different flavors going on, a lot of different things at play. But again, that sort of savory umami flavor you get from the anchovy fillets, when you get from the tuna and the olive oil, that sort of unctuousness is going to pair really well with this. It's got a full body, full mouth feel, but also very cleansing effect on your palate. So you'll be able to have that full flavor, get a nice supporting roll with the cava, and then, you know, like I said with a lot of other things, everything gets out of the way for the next bite. So yeah, that's how I would pair the three tapas dishes there.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Flavia, I'm going to call on to you to tell us what 3 tapas you selected, and please go ahead and pair them with your cava.
Perfect. So I chose the patatas brava, excuse my pronunciation, but the ensaladilla rosa, the salad, and then the clams in salsa verde. So I'll start with the ensaladilla rusa salad. I'm gonna pair it with this dry Cava because it's got a lot of salt and from the anchovies and olives, and everybody knows that sparkling wine goes really well with salt. It also has some citrus notes. It is a heavier salad, so this light, crisp, fruit-forward Cava will be bringing in a little bit of a fresh element to it. The patatas brava is another heavier dish. It also has elements of the garlic and fresh parsley. So this wine, because it is a little bit more fruit forward, it's got great acidity. It's not gonna be combating with the bitterness. It's just gonna complement and add an additional kind of mellow the bitterness from the garlic notes. So definitely that. And then obviously the great free run eggs, as this Cava is organic and it's just gonna pair so well. There's also a touch of creaminess in this fruit Cava. And then my last is the salsa verde, clams in salsa verde. So pairing the wine with the fresh clams, as it is seafood, and a dry sparkling wine would pair very well with any fresh seafood, and as well as the rich sauce that goes into the salsa verde is just gonna complement, and they're not gonna, the cava is just gonna bring a sort of a more floral element to it, and this acidity again will just cut through because this wine has really great acidity. The beautiful thing about this Cava and Cava in general is that it can pair so well and it's so versatile. And I really want to thank everyone for listening tonight. Please try out the Paresh Balta dry brut. It is absolutely amazing. Gracias.
Gracias, Flavia. Okay, next we're going to move on to Ines. Ines, you're up, please, with your 3 selected tapas with your cava.
Hi, everyone. So I will start first with gambas al ajillo because I would say it's the lightest meal. And also, it's perfect for my cava because it's a brut, which is really good with acidity and seafood. And since it is slightly salty, light, and garlicky, it just goes really well because it will stimulate the freshness of the seafood. And the second one will be clams in salsa verde because it is very herby, and they use white wine. That goes really well with our brut cava because of the acidity and the off dryness. And the third one would be patatas a la brava because the spicy paprika and the cayenne pepper, and because it has lemon juice, it goes really well with the sourness and the because we need to balance the weight and the acidity as well with the food and the cava. So it goes really well with Marcas de Moja style brut. Yeah, I would say that. Like, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ines. Sparkling winos, give us some notes on what you're seeing so far in these pairings.
Mike, do you want to take this one?
Well, I'm really impressed with the level of detail that everyone's going into and thinking through the key ingredients, and then also, you know, the hallmarks of whichever cava they were assigned. So I'm really impressed with how the students are pairing, you know, pulling out those key features in their pairings. I'm certainly hungry and thirsty as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thinking on your toes is never easy. So kudos to you all for coming up with such detailed, great responses in such a short period of time.
That's great. Thank you. Now I see Jermaine. You're up next, Jermaine. Please tell us your 3 selected tapas and how they pair with your cava.
So hello again, I'm back. My 3 selected tapas will be garlic prawns or the gambas al ajillo. The second one would be patatas bravas. And then the third will be clams on salsa verde. So the first one is the gambas al ajillo, because at first, of course, like the seafood is always great with the cava because of the proximity of the Penedès region to the Mediterranean Sea. This and then the richness of the food with the garlic will also complement the by the acidity of the and the pronounced flavors of the cava. The saltiness will be elevated by the pronounced flavors and the acidity, and then for the spice also, it will be dissipated by the bubbles, the acidity, and the fruitiness that will mimic the sweetness of the wine. For the next one, which is patatas bravas, this is a very rich dish. So the richness and the fattiness of this dish will be cut through by the acidity and the bubbles of the cava. This is also very thick, so the weight of the body of the dish will also complement the medium to full body of the cava. And then so this comes with a yoli, which is like very rich, like a garlic mayonnaise, right? So the creaminess of like the cava, which is a bottle fermented, will actually give a creamier texture to this dish. And the spice from this will also be the same. It will be dissipated by the bubbles, the acidity, and the fruitiness that will mimic the sweetness of the wine. And then for my last one, the clams on salsa verde, it's the same thing. It's like because the seafood is like normally salty, so the cava with its like citrus hint and tartness, it's like a lemon on the dish. So it will cut through the richness of the dish, and it will complement the saltiness of the dish as well. This one also has some herbaceous aspect to it. So the floral sense of the cava will actually complement the herbaceous aspect of the clams in salsa verde, as well as like the spice that goes with it. It's pretty much the same thing, like the bubbles, the fizz, the acidity, and the sweetness will help dissipate that and balance the whole thing to cleanse the palate and will make you go for more bites.
Thank you very much, Jermaine. Thank you for the explanation. Some news from YouTube Live. We got a lot of comments on everyone's outfits. Great outfits, everyone. And people are very hungry out there. We're almost there. It's almost time to eat. We might all have to go to Madrina together when it's all done soon enough, we hope. I had a question actually for Sherry, to use your expertise and, the history of your buying, et cetera. We've seen some rosé cavas on here. We've seen it kind of go up and down in trend, but the last few years have seen an incredible quality from what writers are saying, et cetera. Would love your feedback on how the rosé in the cava world has kind of grown, or is it here to stay?
Well, I certainly hope so. Anybody that knows me well knows that I love rosé. I think it's, rosé is something that should be enjoyed year round. And when you think about champagne, for example, rosé champagne is always a little bit more elevated than as a perception than just regular champagne with a white champagne. So I'm really pleased to see cava in the rosé category. I mean, rosé as a category continues to grow year after year after year. I don't think there's any end to this. Even countries like New Zealand now are finally really seeing that there's huge potential there. So I think this rosé trend is here to stay. I think that, years ago, you wouldn't see most men drinking rosé on a patio. They do now. I think the old sweet sort of rosé cloying sort of taste profile is changing. And I see this continuing to grow, and it's such a great food wine and a great pairing. And yeah, I'm really excited about the change. And yeah, I would definitely see this remaining. I don't see this changing. I think it's going to grow and grow and grow.
Great insight. Thank you for sharing that, Sherry. Rachel, you're the final competitor in round 3 and the final competitor of the evening. So we're going to ask you to tell us what 3 tapas from Chef Simaro you selected and the pairing with your cava.
Okay. I think balance is going to be a key factor in pairing with the Remart's Fruit Reserva. The balance between freshness, body, aroma, and structure on the palate. The aging on the Remart's Fruit Cava gives us this velvety, creamy texture. And it's so incredibly smooth. So this really gives us a lot to work with. The wine itself is just so versatile. So it could really pair with anything. But the thing that really got me is that it has this really nice high acidity level. Even though it's a brut, it has 10 grams of sugar per liter, which gives us a slighter higher content of sugar, which will help us balance the acidity also in the food itself. The fruity aromas, these are going to give us off a really nice ripe fruit, balance off the spice that you're going to find in some of these dishes. So the 3 dishes I chose, patatas bravas, gambas al ajillo, and the clams in salsa verde. Starting with the patatas bravas, I want to focus in on the spicy paprika oil and the aioli. So the aioli is basically emulsion of mayo, garlic, and olive oil. So that in itself, if you get this palate cleansing and mouth-watering effect, and the heaps of garlic, it's going to is made with cayenne pepper. So we're going off those spicy notes as well. You're tasting almost like seawater, which are going to balance really nicely with the.
So that concludes 3 rounds, 6 competitors, 18 presentations. Judges out there, I will ask you judges to go to your breakout rooms to finalize your scores. And we'll see you very soon. We'll call you back shortly. You have an opportunity to do that by clicking on the link that's in the chat right now. And remember to click submit to make your vote count. So also for the audience at home, we're going to have Professors Doris and Adrian. The judges will only be gone a couple of minutes. So while they're in their breakout room, we'll have Doris and Adrian kind of tell us a little bit about what they've seen from the mentees from day 1 and those videos that the competitors did at home that had to send in to be part of this competition and throughout, because that mashup video we saw at the beginning showed some real creativity. So Doris and Adrian, I'm going to ask you to kind of to do that.
Sure. Thanks, Tony. On behalf of everybody who contributed and made submissions to the contest, it's been amazing for Doris and I to watch everybody's creativity and also their openness to learning. Everybody was very eager to take on the challenge, and some of them even said, I don't know a lot about Cava, but I'm so excited to go on this journey. It's been an incredible experience for Doris and I to see them grow and share some of their stories and personal parts of their livelihood along the way.
Thank you, Adrian. I want to add to this. We're in a very difficult time in history right now. And one of the things that our industry will never be short of is what our students gave us, that emotional hospitality intelligence, the ability to open up and be vulnerable and be confident about their life experiences. And if that isn't something joyous to share, really, what is? And, put a side order of Cava there, and it's just a wonderful life that we really do have. I just want to share that. It's also an incredible journey for Adrian and I as instructors to see our students on day 1 at George Brown College, and then to see them at this point where they have that confidence and that vision of who they are in industry is just tremendous, a tremendous feeling. And we did start with 19 submissions, and they got cut down as we started to pinch the competition. Adrian, how did you feel about that first Friday when we opened up our inbox and we had all of those competition links?
It was incredible. I think we were all very excited with the quality of submissions, the enthusiasm from the students. And I think it was a pleasure for you and I to watch all these submissions. We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of air high fives over Zoom, watching the submissions, and just really excited about what they had produced.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really bringing the School of Hospitality, the management, the front of house team, really to the forefront of the industry, making that connection with our most important customer that really is the reason why we're in business.
Certainly is. And we all know that, you know, part of the experience isn't just the amazing bottle of Cava or a bottle of wine, but it's the people who bring it to life and create the atmosphere, and that just helps elevate the experience. It elevates the taste of the wine. So these personalities that we're seeing tonight, and we've seen on the video submissions before, are an extremely important part of the package.
Tell us, Adrian and Doris, about something I had noted, remember before, was the global presence of our students, because when we got those submissions, they were coming from all parts, and it was quite exciting. So tell us how that went.
Well, we had students that had applied from Alberta, from India. We had, I believe, a student from Brazil.
Japan.
Japan. It was just quite.
Ines is in Mexico right now.
In Mexico, that's right. It was quite incredible to see the diversity of our students and how this online platform really unites us, regardless of the time and being sure we're in the right time zone for all of our meetings. Because we had a couple of those bloopers, all of us experienced that at one point. But I do want to ask Adrian, what's your favorite Cava pairing? Your personal favorite Cava pairing?
No, we don't have enough time for that because the list would be so long. But there's so many amazing Cava stories to be had and to share. And, when you're in Spain and you feel the energy and the excitement of the tourists and the locals, and then you've got this amazing cuisine and these jaw-dropping settings, it's something that has to be experienced. And we are thankful, especially to be here in Ontario. We do have the luxury of having many different options of not only Spanish wines, but Spanish Cavas as well. So we get spoiled a little bit. And I think maybe we have to spoil ourselves this evening to toast and celebrate our students.
Just to note that we're tallying the results. So we've got the judges coming back shortly with the results from the competition. So stay tuned for that. Sorry to interrupt. Doris, I think we're all interested in hearing about your favorite Cava because you have a lot of experience in publishing as well in the sparkling world.
I do. I'm going to be honest with everybody. It's not food that's my favorite pairing with Cava. It's the sunny beach, a pair of flip-flops and cutoffs. I love that pairing with Cava. It is my favorite pairing. I think we can all relate to being in the sunshine and having a great glass of this sparkling wine
with some sand between your toes.
For sure.
I want to bring some of our contestants in here for a moment. If a few of you can get close to the computer to unmute yourself. Love to hear. Ines, why don't you tell us how you're feeling now and how this journey went.
You mean about the competition?
Yeah.
I think I messed up really badly. I was shaking at the beginning. I was just like handling the lemon bomb just like this. I was just drop it, Rines, just drop it right there. I think it was really obvious that I was really nervous. But yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is like, I mean, I learned to like maybe overcome my anxiety for like competition. So maybe it's just a learning experience for this. So, like, yeah.
Everything's a learning experience. That's fantastic, Ines. You did very, very well, actually. Very well. Rachel, tell us about your experience and where you are. And, is Cava on your selection list now going forward?
I mean, it definitely is. It's funny. I love Cava because it's just so approachable. It's like a wine for everyone and affordable. So you got to love that. My hands are so sweaty. I think it's just, everyone did such an amazing job. I think that it was really cool. I was saying to Adrian, so cool to see everyone's cocktails. I want to try them out myself. They're so delicious. They sound so delicious. But yeah, no, definitely nerve-wracking, but really nice to put yourself out there. And again, thanks so much for letting me be a part of this. Great.
That's fantastic. Jermaine, tell us about your experience.
Hi, Tony. Like what Rachel said, it's very nerve-wracking. I was like really nervous the whole time. But yeah, I'm actually appreciating the experience that I'm getting right now. I know that this is a competition, but like all of us, all the competitors are actually like the best thing that we can get through for this is like the learning and the experience that we got. This is my first competition also ever, so I'm enjoying it, and I'm actually thankful for the mentors and for the competitors as well with their great job that they did. Thank you.
Great job, Jermaine. Great job. Patrick, let's hear from you. How has this gone? And it's been a busy month with Cava and setting up some pretty cool props out there. And please tell us how it went.
I think the whole experience has been a lot of fun. Filming my first video and then my other two videos, that was a lot of fun. And then this I found a little bit nerve-wracking as well. But I think probably looking back, the whole experience has been just very enjoyable. And I think the most difficult part is this cocktail sitting in front of me because it's just begging to be drank. So
thank you very much, Patrick. Flavia, tell us about your experiences last month.
Definitely a lot of fun, but very, very nervous. I think I tried to give a little bit of my personality when I was doing my submissions. And today, obviously being in front of judges that are so well respected and so knowledgeable, and everyone at George Brown and all the viewers, it was a little bit nerve-wracking and to keep within the 2-minute time frame as well, but I really fell in love with the Cava. I fell in love with the winery. So I think going forward, I cannot wait to go on a trip to the Paneras and visit this beautiful winery and all the beautiful wineries out there. Thank you.
Maybe we can all go together. Adrian and Doris might be able to have some connections for us there. Jamie, how about you? You tell us as well how this kind of last month has gone.
It's gone really great. At first I was unsure about even submitting because I wasn't sure how, my personality would translate. But after I got accepted into that 12, it really it got me so excited. And the new challenges that we had with the new videos was tons of fun. So, anyone who knows me knows I'm not short on a story. So when it comes to storytelling and wine, it's a perfect pairing, if you'll pardon the pun. I just think it's been a lot of fun, and like everyone else, it's definitely been a little bit nerve-wracking, but this is something I'm fairly used to, not virtually, but in person. I come from a theater background, so auditioning and having judges and that kind of thing doesn't faze me too much. But I'm just hoping that everybody enjoys what we had to say, and the fact that I got a rosé Cava is perfect because I've been saying for years that the guys need to give rosé more of a try. They're too obsessed with how they're going to appear to other people, and they really let themselves down by not giving it a shot. So when I got this in the mail, I was super excited to be able to get to know it and tell some good stories about it.
Excellent point, Jamie. Agreed on all points. Excellent point. Viewers, I'm going to remind you that the poll will be closing momentarily, so get your Viewer's Choice Award nominations in. Don't forget to press submit. I'm going to be calling the judges back. Judges, please, if you can join us back live in the room and send me the results so that we can tell the students where we stand right now. They're nervous and tired. At the same time, some closing remarks from Adrian and Doris on the competition.
Yeah, I'll start and I'll leave Doris with the last word. I'm just very thankful to be included in this journey with our students. Thank you to the Wines of Spain for sponsoring this opportunity, and thank you for your continued support with other initiatives that you have at the college and continue to sponsor student opportunities. To all the competitors who are here with us now and the ones who submitted previous to this, congratulations on your courage to enter, and thank you so much for your creativity and what you were able to provide us and bounce ideas off of us and show us some of your creative energy, which is something I think teachers always love to hear, and it just motivates us more. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Adrian. I want to first address our wonderful students. You put yourselves out there, you took a risk, and you lifted our spirits in a time where we could not have needed this more. And thank you for everything that you did to make this happen. And know that there's more competitions out there, but what you did for your school, for yourself, is tremendous. Thank you, and keep up the great work. Adrian, I want to tell you it's amazing working with you. We have a wine pod, a recorded wine pod together where we interview personalities from around the world. But this was really different. This was just tremendous. And
this was
Tony,
cool.
Your leadership, yeah, this was really cool. Tony, your leadership is tremendous. I think that Pat Sajak and all of those game show hosts, they've got their competition, really.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you. I will echo something Doris said. Many of you might not know that Doris and Adrian host an incredible podcast. It's up on Apple iTunes, it's on Spotify, and it's called Wine Pod. So they've got some remarkable interviews with some great guests from around the world, from South Africa to California to Europe. So definitely send everyone to see Wine Pod. I have the results before me. I will ask the judges to come back. Hi, judges, how are you? Okay, so we're going to start with Sparkling Wine Hours. Just a few final notes on feedback to our students, please.
Well, first, we want to congratulate everyone who participated. Honestly, we were just chatting with the other judges, and it was a really, really, really close race. And I'm not just saying that. We were splitting hairs at the end. We were incredibly impressed by everyone, their stories, their colorful personalities, of course, their knowledge when it came to pairing food and wine.
The showcasing of the Cava.
Absolutely. So I can't say enough good things. You guys have all made us very thirsty and very hungry. So you've successfully done your job. And we're very excited to be here to see the winner's reaction, because the top three blew us away, and they very much deserve the prize. So
that's great. Debbie, some feedback from you.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, if I thought I needed a glass of Cava at 5 p.m., I need a glass of Cava now, or maybe a bottle or three, because that was very stressful trying to figure out the top three from an amazing, fantastic group of 6 people. So great job to everyone. You could really see just everyone's comprehension of like the wine style, the production of Cava, and how it pairs with food. All of you really shone, like all of you shone really well. So kudos to you. And yeah, it was not an easy decision, but I think it's Cava time soon.
Yeah, Pilar, some feedback from you to the competitors.
Well, I would like to chime in with the congratulatory comments of my fellow judges, because it really was fantastic to see the innovation and all of the hard work, not only tonight, but from a month ago of what was, you know, what you've all been developing over the last little while. And a lot of thoughtfulness in the whole process. And that was greatly appreciated by all of us. And it really was, I mean, splitting hairs at the very end. And so, you know, we're very thankful for all of the great work that you've done, and thankful to your coaches for helping you through this process, because it's been really a lot of a great afternoon, and congratulations to everybody.
Great, thank you, Pilar. Sherry, some closing final feedback from the judges panel to our great competitors.
Well, I really want to congratulate everybody who participated. This was a lot of fun, certainly just listening and taking it all in. And as I can echo from the other judges as well, this is very difficult. It was very, very tight. I think that, you know, the energy that came across from the students, the innovation that they used to bring these cocktails to light, it looks so easy. And things like this are not easy. So that demonstrates to me that there was a lot of hard work, a lot of preparation done in you know, prior to the competition. And well done to all of you. I think you're going to be very, very successful. And you know, keep up the good work. You've done fantastic to here this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sherry. And we're down to that moment now, just to remind all of you that you're all winners. You're not all going to win the same prize, but you will all be receiving Wines from Spain gifts. You will also be receiving a book from Jancis Robinson, her newest version of the World Wine Atlas of Wine, because she was supposed to be our guest at the Wine Symposium last year, but will instead join us virtually this year. Let's get on with it. Number 3 would be Jamie. Jamie, $500 prize for Jamie. Congratulations. Fantastic work on everything you did there today. I'm going to move on to second place. Second place today, we have Rachel. Rachel, congratulations. $1,000 to you going your way. Great job in this competition. We thoroughly enjoyed your presentations. The winner of the 2021 Cava Everywhere competition is Flavia.
Oh my God. Sorry, was that loud? Oh my God.
Congratulations, Flavia. The judges had great feedback, great presentation.
Good job.
Very good. Again, everyone's a winner. All 6 of you did a fantastic job. We're very happy with the results of this competition. We want to thank KB. We want to thank Chef Ramon. I think you're going to be giving us personal tours of Barcelona in the future. Thank you to the judges who took time away from their very busy lives to be with us. It really means a lot to us and to our students for you to share that incredible knowledge with us. We want to thank the student mentors, Doris and Adrian, that hard work nonstop for the last month as we brought this together and brought it to life. We want to thank Wines of Spain, Pilar, and the team there at the Trade Commission of Spain here in Canada, who's always supporting our students, believing in them, and supporting them financially with opportunities like this to learn and grow, but also be rewarded for the work they do. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every one of the 12 student competitors for your commitment to this. We can't wait to see you out there as leaders in our industry one day. To our audience who's live, thank you for joining us. Muchas gracias, everyone, for your contributions, and buenas noches, everyone.
Dios.
Recording end. Oh, we have an Audience Choice Award winner. I forgot. I'm so sorry. Rachel, you're taking home the Audience Choice Award. You'll get a gift card to the Chef's House Marketplace that reopens very, very soon.
Wow.
So
Nice.
All right.
competitors, feel free to stay on. That's great. Thank you so much to everyone else. Competitors, judges, please stay on. If we could end the recording, that would be great.
Great job, team. Congrats.